All right, so we're just going to take a look at the first example together, and then we'll go from there. Peter's Pants Palace. What a name for a store. Peter's Pants Palace advertises the following sale. Shirts are half off the original price, so I guess they sell more than just pants there. Pants are 1/3 off the original price, and shoes are 1/4 off the original price. If a pair of shoes costs $40, what is the sales price? Okay, so let's talk about that example to start with. Let's see. Ellie, a pair of shoes costs $40. We want to know the sales price. What do we know about the shoes as far as they're being on sale?
They cost 1/4 what they of their old cost.
Say that one more time.
The sale price is 1/4 of their old price.
It's not 1/4 of their old price, it's 1/4 off of their old price. A really important distinction there, because if they were 1/4 of the original price, that would be really awesome, because that means we could take the original price, we could divide it by 4. So how much would we be paying for the shoes? $10. Yeah, we don't want, I mean, that would be wonderful, but that's not, when it says that shoes are 1/4 off, what we're going to do is we're going to take the price of the shoes. So the price, I'm just going to draw a bar to represent the price of the shoes. The price of the shoes, the total price is $40. And then I'm going to divide that $40 into 4 parts. So we just figured out 1/4 would be $10, right? So if it's 1/4 off, what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these fourths off. So what do we have left? Charlie?
Can I have a pencil?
Yes. All this stuff. Okay, so what do we have left if it's 1/4 off? Ava?
$30.
$30. Okay, I want you guys to try letter B because it is similar to letter A. So at Peter's Pants Palace, a pair of pants usually sells for $33. What is the sale price of Peter's pants? So take a second, just work on that independently, and then we'll talk about the answer. Okay, volunteers, tell me what you did. What you got as an answer, Andrew?
They say it usually sells for $33.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 1/3 off the original price, so you do 1/3 divided by 30.
Okay, tell me what you came up with as an answer.
$22.
$22, good. You don't actually do 1/3 divided by 33 to get that, but you do divide the $33 into 3 parts. So if you've got a total of $33, you divide that into 3 parts. Each part is how much, Andrew? 11. And then if we're taking one of those parts off, that leaves us with $22. Now, what we're actually doing mathematically, we're taking, if there's 1/3 off, we have 2/3 left, right? So we can actually find 2/3 of 33. If we find 2/3 of 33, the word of usually tells us to multiply, so 2/3 of 33 is 2/3 times 33, which, if we simplify, becomes 22/1. Because essentially what we're doing, we're dividing by 3, which is what we did in the diagram. We divided it into 3 parts, and then we're multiplying times 2 of those parts. Okay, any questions so far? I told you this was going to be a tricky lesson, but so far it's pretty easy. Okay, next question, or next example, Big Al's Used Cars. A used car salesperson receives a commission of 1/12 of the sales price of the car for each car he sells. What would the sales commission be on a car that sold for $21,999? So first of all, we have to know a little bit about what a commission is, and this is something we'll talk a lot more about when we get to our percents unit. A commission is just an amount that somebody receives for selling something. So people who sell appliances often receive commissions. Maybe you sell a refrigerator for $1,000 and you get 1/10 of the cost as your commission. So you would get how much? If you get 1/10 of 100, how much would that be? You want to volunteer? Ava?
$100.
$100.
1/10 of 100. 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 wait, oh, I said it wrong, didn't I? 1/10 of 1,000, you were going with my original, would be 100, yes. Sorry, I said that wrong. And if you were selling something like houses, people get commission on houses. It's usually something like, I want to say 3.5%, but I could be totally off base there. It's been a while since I've bought a house. So if we're looking at this, he's going to get 1/12. We're not taking 1/12 off of the price and then he gets all the rest. In this case, if his commission is 1/12 of the sales price, he's going to get 1/12 of it. So if we were to take $21,999, we could draw a long diagram like we did and divide it into 12 parts. But since we only need one of those 12 parts, what's the fastest way we can solve this problem? Katie?
21,999.
Good. We're going to divide it into 12 parts. We're only going to use one of those parts. So if we take 21,999, we divide it into 12 parts. I'm just going to tell you what you would get. And I'll save you the struggle of the long division for the current moment. You would get $1,833.25. Okay, those were the two easier examples. So for anyone who might be watching the video for college prep and core, we probably won't do examples 3 and 4 in those classes. So the next two examples are for accelerated only. Okay, example 3, tax time. You guys don't have to pay taxes yet, but your parents do. So I'm sure you have heard a little bit about taxes. As part of a marketing plan, some businesses mark up their prices before they advertise a sales event. Do you ever go to a store that's going out of business and stuff's on sale and you go in and you're like, this is still pretty expensive even though it's on sale? It's because before they put it on sale, they marked up the price to make the original price look a lot higher than it was. And then they mark it down, which doesn't end up being as low as you think it's going to be. So it says some companies use this practice as a way to entice customers into the store without sacrificing their profits. So everybody wants to go to a store if it says 75% off everything, but then they take a $20 pair of shoes and they make them actually $40, so that 75% off really isn't as much. Okay, so in this case we have a furniture store. They want to host a sales event to improve its profit margin. That means they want to make more money, and to reduce its tax liability, which means they don't want to pay as many taxes, before its inventory is taxed at the end of the year. So they don't want to pay taxes on the stuff that they have, so they want to get rid of as much stuff as possible. How much profit will the business make on the sale of a couch that is marked up by 1/3 and then sold at a 1/5 off discount if the original price is $2,400? This is kind of where the multi-step stuff comes in. We have a couch that's going to be marked up by 1/3. So let's start with our original couch. We've got a couch that costs $2,400. Now they're going to mark it up by 1/3. So how much would 1/3 of 2,400 be? Ava? $800. So every third is 100. So if they're marking it up by 1/3, what are we going to do? Andrew?
Add one more 800.
Add one more 800. So we're going to add another 800. And now they're going to say that the original price of the couch is how much? Connor with an E. How much would the original, so-called original price or the marked up price be now?
$3,200.
Good. It would now be $3,200. Okay, now they're going to sell it at a 1/5 off discount. So we need to take this new amount. Now the couch costs $3,200. How many pieces am I going to divide it into now? Kaden? 5. Good. I have to remember where everybody is. I'm looking for you in your old place. Okay, let's see. It's harder to divide it into 5. So if I can do this one. Okay, not so bad. So if I divide 3,200 into 5 parts, how big is each part? Allie?
640.
640, let's check that, yep, 640. So if they're selling it at a 1/5 off discount, how much are you going to pay for the couch? Maddie?
2,560.
Good, 2,560. So if we take one of these 640s off, we take 1/5 off, we are left with $2,560. How does that compare to the original price? Katie?
Costs more.
It costs more. That's what stores do sometimes. They trick you into thinking you're getting something on sale when it actually ends up costing more than it would have originally if they hadn't done the whole markup thing. All right, any questions about this? I highly encourage the use of drawing these pictures. It's kind of like using manipulatives. It really helps you visualize what's happening because it's really easy to get tangled up with these kinds of problems. All right, example 4. Born to Ride. A motorcycle dealer paid a certain price for a motorcycle. So we don't know how much he paid, and he marked it up by 1/5 of the price he paid. Later, he sold it for $14,000. What was the original price? So this one approaches it from a really different angle. We don't know the original price, we just know how much he paid in the end. Any ideas about how you might solve this problem? Andrew, what do you think?
Divide 14,000 into 5.
Okay, well, 14,000 though is the price that he got for it later. It's not what he started with.
Divide 5 and 5 by 14.
Not quite. Not quite. In the other problems, we started with something original, right? And we divided that something original. So let's actually do this. Let's say, here's the original price. This is what we don't know. The OP, the original price, we don't know. That's what we need to divide into 5 points. So you're thinking Andrew was right in that we do need to divide something into 5 points. What did I say? Points, 5 parts. And those should be equal parts. Mine are looking a little bit unequal. I have a little bit of a curve up there at the end. So we divide the original price into 5 parts, and then what would we do if it's marked up by 1/5? What would we do to that original price? I am really having trouble with namesakes. Everyone's sitting in a different spot. It's like I know your names, but because you're sitting like in Kate's spot, that Kate comes to my mind. It's so strange. All right, Sammy.
Would you add 1/5 onto it?
Yes, you're going to add another 5th. So you're going to add another 5th. Actually, let me make that a dotted line. You're going to add one more 5th. So now the whole thing, the new price, when the 1/5 is added, is how much? What does it say in the problem? What did he sell it for? 14,000. Okay, so he sold it for 14,000. Okay, looking at the picture now, any ideas about what we might do at this point? Katie?
Divide 14,000.
By 6, good. Because our new one now, since we added a 5th, it actually has 6 equal parts now, right? Because it had 5/5 plus we added another one, so it actually has 6 of them. So if we divide 14,000 by 6, and we're going to have a repeating decimal. So what can I put at the end? I'm going to end up always with a remainder of 2, so I'm going to have as a fraction. Yes? If I were writing it as a decimal, I would, but I'm going to need to use this number, and I can't use it mathematically unless I turn it into a fraction. What would it be as a fraction? Katie? the repeating number is 3, but my remainder is going to be a 2 every time. So I'll do minus 18, I'm going to get 2. So how do I turn that into a fraction? Maddie?
Make it 1/2.
Not 1/2. We have 2 whats? 2/6, which would reduce to 1/3. So it's 2,333 and 1/3 each part. So each one of these parts is 2,333 and 1/3. So now that we know how much is in each part, how do we figure out the original price of the motorcycle? Emily? Haven't heard from you yet today.
2,333
Times 5, good, because the original price, remember, was just 5 of these pieces. We know that one of the pieces is 2,333 and 1/3. So we need to take 2,333 and 1/3 times 5. This is where a calculator would be kind of handy, but we're going to do it by hand. I'm going to take the 2,333 times 5 first, and then I'm going to multiply the 1/3 times 5 and add it on, just because that way I don't have to make a really great big improper fraction. So 15, 15 and 1 is 16, 16, 5 times 2 is 10, and 1 is 11. So just times 5 gives us 11,665. If I multiply 5 times 1/3, I get 5/3, which is like 1 and 2/3. So I'm going to need to add 1 back on, 666. And then I am going to want to write 2/3 as a decimal because I'm dealing with money. This is my last step. So 2/3, if I do 3 no, I'm doing that right, 3 divided by 2. Okay, it would go in 6 times, and it's going to repeat again. 6 times. So if it keeps repeating and I want to round it off to the nearest hundredth, what would I round it to? 67 cents. So $11,666.67. And I don't know why that one has a little tail. Get rid of that. There we go. So that was the trickiest example. Remember, you're not starting with the original price. There's really a lot more to think about. Okay, in the problem set, I would like you to do, we're going to do all 7 of those problems, but you're going to have class time to work on them. Additionally, you may discuss them with your partner, who is now somebody new than who you had previously. Poor Ava does not have a partner, so actually, Bella, you can jump up and be her partner. Yeah, that'll work out. All right, so work on, that'll be your homework if you don't finish it, but I would encourage you to try to finish it up while you're in class so you can get help if you need it.